Think of Sri Ramakrishna and pray for peace and joy. Hari Om Datsat. Om Stapakaya Jadharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupini Avadara Varishtaya Ramakrishnaya Te Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. Spiritual life is the life of action based on moral values. One has to make a lot of preparation to step into the spiritual realm. There are lots of people aspiring for spiritual life. At the same time, they are not very serious about their aspiration. It is very important. Every step is to be followed with great dedication. Your sincerity must be shown in your life, how you cherish the noble virtues in yourself. Sri Ramakrishna said, the ebb tide and flood tide are indeed amazing. He was looking into Ganges river. It was near the ocean, so the river is subject to tides every now and then. Sri Ramakrishna said, but notice one thing, near the sea you see the ebb tide and flood tide in a river. But far away from the sea, the river flows in one direction only. What does this mean? Try to apply its significance to your spiritual life. It's a very important statement. Those who live very near God feel within them the current of bhakti, bhava, and the like. Devotion, absorption. In the case of a few Ishvara Kotis, for instance, one sees even Mahabhava and Prema. But you come across this experience only when you are near God. To live very near God, you must dive deep inward. You must dive deep inward. First of all, you must enter into the spiritual realm. Then the question of diving deep follows. Are you sure you have entered into the spiritual realm? Are you watching your mind? Are you watching your behavior? Are you trying to correct yourself? Are you concentrating upon your imperfections? Are you aware of the great dangers that block the way into the spiritual realm? Mere awareness is not enough. Are you struggling to overcome them? Jealousy, anger, they're enough to destroy you. You will not be able to move an inch forward in the spiritual realm. You will not be able to enter into spiritual realm at all as long as your mind is occupied with anger and jealousy. You have to struggle very hard to overcome them. You will not be able to recognize Guru's grace unless you free your mind from anger and jealousy. You have to try very sincerely. Every day you have to watch your action, watch your movements. Maybe nobody is watching you, but you are deceiving yourself by indulging in such nasty things. As long as you cover up your imperfection, you are several thousand miles away from spirituality. So diving deep into spiritual realm comes only when you have entered into the spiritual arena. How much you have to prepare? How much you have to prepare your life? How much humble you must become? How much devoted you must become? How must your mind be pure enough? It is struggle. You have to struggle. No struggle, no improvement. It's very important to understand this point. You will understand it only when you are really aspiring for spiritual development in your life. So, to live very near God, you must dive deep inward. This inwardness leads to next step, inner away. It leads to next step, inner awakening. This awakening takes you further to the center where you will have the realization of the supreme reality. The Upanishads, the Vedantic spiritual texts say about this center to which everyone returns, where wisdom and activity are integrated. So the importance of philosophy comes in. It will effect this integration. It enriches, it elevates, it inspires the individual, integrating and harmonizing and unifying the life. So, when you are consciously moving inward with full awareness, you become well established in inwardness. To become well established in inwardness, is the very essence of all yoga. Whatever yoga you practice, whatever name you give to your spiritual sadhana, you have to be finally established yourself in inwardness. What is yoga? It implies attunement, absorption, union, and ultimately it is absorption in or union with a center. The center is described as transcendental, but it is discovered in the heart of one's own being. That center is located in each one's heart. Even in karma yoga, where one loses oneself apparently in outward activity, one is really absorbed in the center of one's own inmost self, and one's activity is attuned to the center. Otherwise, it is just karma and there is no yoga in it. That's why we often say, when you are engaging yourself in spiritual activity, don't unnecessarily talk. Don't divert your mind from what you have to do. Sometimes you may miss certain things which are to be done. So instead of your service becoming karma yoga, it just ends up in karma only. So, you have to be conscious of what you are doing. When you are engaging in spiritual activity, it is always suggested to be silent. The best way of practicing silence is mentally repeating God's mantra. Then do the work. You will see how remarkable improvement you make in your life. When the habit is established, one goes about doing one's work in that state of self-absorption, which is actually a state of illumined awareness. Illumination characterizes the awareness because one sees oneself as one is. Having awakened to the fact that one is not the doer or the enjoyer of the fruit. Na karta, na bhokta. Having realized the truth of inaction in action. When you perform an action, not aspiring for any personal benefit, just for the sake of offering to God, it becomes inaction in action. That means that action will not bind you, it will not give you suffering. On the other hand, it gives you joy. It liberates you from suffering. So the Karma Yogin has transcended the sense of doership and has therefore no claim to enjoyership. Na karta na bhokta. The Bhakti Yogin, by practicing yoga according to the path of devotion, he has awakened to the intrinsic purity of his true nature, soul, different from the body, which is a modification of Prakriti, the seat and support of all activity, and to a sense of exclusive belonging to the Supreme, who is the soul of all souls. And hence he considers himself neither as the doer nor as the enjoyer. To the enlightened devotee, all enjoyership belongs to God, the Supreme, to whom he has totally surrendered himself. And all activity belongs to Prakriti, from which he has totally discriminated himself. There is no question of Gyanin, the person who is following the path of knowledge, being involved in any activity or enjoyment. For the very essence of his jnana is non-involvement. The discipline of yoga, in all its aspects and phases, is intended to secure such non-involvement as a permanent feature of one's life. There is a famous verse, Arunachala Pancharatna. It has got 5 verses. About Lord Shiva. The 4th hymn of this Arunachala Pancharatna presents the gift of yoga in an extremely condensed form, stressing foremost the primacy of withdrawal in all effort at spiritual absorption. Tyaktva vishayam bahyam rudra pranena rudra manasantastvam dhyayan pashyati yogi didhitim arunachala tvai mahiyante. Abandoning the outer world with mind and breath properly controlled, to meditate on thee within, the yogi sees thy light and finds his delight in thee. Such is thy glory. There is a meaning of that verse. The reference to yoga in these lines is clearly to the sutras of Patanjali Maharshi. It brings out the truth that whether one seeks to shape oneself as Gyanin or as Bhakta, devotee, one's vision is necessarily turned inward. The Jnanin, who had embarked on a search for the source of the ego, traces it to the heart and awakens to a state of his liberation. The yogin, who is a devotee, also achieves the same end by withdrawing himself from outward pursuits and meditating on the light within as the light of Lord Shiva. The shift in emphasis from jnana to bhakti, knowledge to devotion, becomes vivid as we move from the fourth to fifth of the hymns in the Pancharatna, whose substance is as follows. He who dedicates his mind to Thee, O Lord, and seeing Thee always looks at the universe as Thy figure. He who at all times glorifies You and loves You as none other than the Self. He is a master without rival, being one with You, O Lord, and lost in Your bliss. The Bhakta is as much lost in his bliss as the Jnanin in his knowledge. The secret of realization is in getting lost. In the plunge, we lose ourselves. If dhyana is plunge in meditation, samadhi is absorption which marks the consummation of the plunge. When we lose ourselves, we really find ourselves. That's what he meant when Sri Ramakrishna said, dive deep inward. Dive deep inward. You will get into reality. Diving deep is very important. First of all, preparing yourself to enter into the spiritual realm. Then keep on struggling consciously, trying to remove imperfections, not trying to cover them up, not trying to hide them up, not trying to put blame upon others for your imperfections. Nothing of those things will help you. You have to get rid of imperfections from your own heart. If you are clean, you will see clean in everyone. You will see everybody clean. If you wear black glass, you will see everything black. It depends upon the color of the glass you wear. In the same way, in whatever way you practice your life, accordingly it is shown up in the life. So Sri Ramakrishna tells you, go inward, go inward. Going inward is diving deep downwards. Diving deep means going inward to your own heart, which is the center of consciousness. Once you reach that state, then you love everything. Nakrodho nachamatsariyam. Lord Krishna says in the Gita, free from anger, free from jealousy. Na krodaha, na matsaryam. These are the most dangerous qualities that block, that make you blind. You will not be able to see the spiritual path at all because of this. So, don't feel shy to accept your fault. Try to overcome them. Pray to God honestly. He Himself will give you strength. He Himself will give you strength. Page 516. After the kirtan, Sri Ramakrishna resumed his seat. With great feeling, he began to sing of the Divine Mother. His eyes turned upward. O Mother, ever blissful as thou art, do not deprive thy worthless child of bliss. My mind knows nothing but thy lotus feet. The king of death scowls at me terribly. Tell me, Mother, what shall I say to him? He sang again. As is a man's meditation, so is his feeling of love. As is a man's feeling of love, so is his gain, and faith is the root of all. He continued, this world, O Mother, is thy madhouse. What can I say of all thy virtues? Setting aside thine elephant, thou roamest about on foot. Putting off thy gems and pearls, O self-willed Mother, thou dost adorn thy comely neck with a garland of human heads. Now thou must rescue Ram Prasad out of the forest of this world. Again he sang, why should I go to Ganga or Gaya, to Kashi, Kanchi or Prabhas? So long as I can breathe my last with Kali's name upon my lips. And again, dwell, O mind, within yourself, enter no other home. If you but seek there, you will find all you are searching for. And then, the black bee of my mind is drawn in sheer delight to the blue lotus flower of Mother Shyama's feet. Cherish my precious Mother Shyama tenderly within, O mind. May you and I alone behold her, letting no one else intrude. As the Master sang this last sang, he stood up. He was almost intoxicated with divine love. Again and again he said to the devotees, cherish my precious Mother Shyama tenderly within. Then he danced and sang, is Kali my mother really black? The naked one of blackest hue lights the lotus of the heart. The Master reeled as he sang. Niranjan came forward to hold him. The Master said to him softly, don't touch me, you rascal. Seeing the Master dance, the devotees stood up. He caught hold of Yam's hand and said, don't be foolish, dance. Sri Ramakrishna resumed his seat, still charged with divine ecstasy. Coming down a little to the normal state, he said, Om, 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 Kali. Again he said, let me have a smoke. Many of the devotees stood around. Mahimacharan was fanning him. The Master asked him to sit down and recite from the scriptures. Mahimacharan recited from the Mahanirvan Tantra. Om I bow to Thee, the everlasting cause of the world. I bow to Thee, pure consciousness, the soul that sustains the whole universe. I bow to Thee, who art one without duality, who dost bestow liberation. I bow to Thee, Brahman, the all-pervading, attributeless reality. Thou alone art the refuge, the only object of adoration. Thou art the only cause of the universe, the soul of everything that is. Thou alone art the world's creator, Thou its preserver and destroyer. Thou art the immutable supreme Lord of the Absolute. Thou art unchanging consciousness, dread of the dreadful, terror of the terrible, refuge of all beings, purity of purifiers. Thou alone dost rule over those in the high places, supreme over the supreme, the protector of the protectors. Almighty Lord, who art made manifest as the form of all, yet art Thyself unmanifest and indestructible. Thou who art imperceptible to the senses, yet art the very truth, incomprehensible, imperishable, all-pervading, hidden and without form. O Lord, O light of the universe, protect us from harm. On that one alone we meditate. That one is the sole object of our worship. To that alone, the non-dual witness of the universe, we bow. In that one who alone exists and who is our sole eternal support, we seek refuge. The self-dependent Lord, the vessel of safety in the ocean of existence. Sri Ramakrishna listened to the hymn with folded hands. After it was sung, he saluted Brahman. The devotees did likewise. Azhar arrived from Calcutta and bowed down before the Master. Master said to him, "We have had such joy today. How much joy Hari's name creates. Is it not so?" Yam said, "Yes, sir." Mahimacharan was a student of philosophy. That day, he too had chanted the name of Hari and danced during the kirtan. This made the Master very happy. Subtle difference is, Karma Yoga is doing action outwardly, inwardly, mind is set on God. For example, you are coming to the chapel, you are vacuuming. You are not doing your home job. You come to the chapel and you are doing Lord's service. That attitude, I am doing God's service, I am doing His service, that keeps you on a high plane. At the same time, you must keep on repeating the mantra and do vacuum cleaning. It's as good as meditation, I tell you very clearly, without any doubt, I tell you. It is as good as meditation. But as long as you vacuum, so long you must repeat mantra. You must not divert your attention to all other things. That is so, with absorption, that's what is required. Absorption, complete the job and then go to another job, like that. So whatever you do for the sake of God, for the love of God, it becomes Karma Yoga. But on the other hand, that means when you are engaged in Karma Yoga, what is the result? The result should be, you must not be egoistic. All your roughness should be rounded off. Your roughness should be rounded off. You must become more and more refined. The more and more you come to chapel, the more and more you are doing work, the more and more you are near God, should express itself in your wonderful, noble qualities. So that is the result of inaction in action. If you lose that sight, if for some reason you are doing for the recognition of somebody, oh, I am vacuuming so much, nobody is observing me, how much I am working hard, they have no sense. If you comment like that, then finally you will lose your sense because of your comments. Wow, to whom you are doing? Are you doing for the sake of XYZ or are you doing for the sake of Sri Ramakrishna? That should be very clear. Even breathing, I am doing for his sake. You see, I am going to that extreme. If you have that ideal like that, then chances are very remote to slip down. Even if you slip, you will not lose your ground. Name bhakta pranashyati, Bhagavan says in the Gita. Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayan. If a person is engaged even in the smallest type of activity, I will free him from the danger of fear. So, attitude is extremely important. Attitude, very important. How more and more you become soft, how more and more you become loving, that's important. That is the result of selfless activity. But generally, people, they start up with spiritual activity, but end up with worldly results. That's why we see so many groups, so many factions in all the religious activities everywhere. Why should there be any factions at all? Because of these reasons. Each individual wants to project his ego, wants recognition, wants to be heard, wants to be followed. These are the things. So the petty things come to the forefront. So, instead of making any progress, you'll be moving backward instead of going forward. As I said, you will not have entered into spiritual realm at all. That's why preparations are very important. Very few people understand that. The mantra is given, initiation is given, instructions are given. What for? To prepare the ground properly so that you are really qualified to receive God's grace. That's the idea. See, the point is this: when you are living together or more than 2-3 people, definitely all the 2-3 people must know the value of adjustment, not resentment, not simply shouting and abusing. And another thing is, if one has to do meditation, one should find a place where one will not disturb the others. At the same time, suppose if the same person is staying in one place, if he utters loudly, it may disturb the other person living there. So you should not utter loudly. That's understandable. See, repetition of mantra should be heard only by God, not by others. The others are not required to hear what you are repeating. If God hears you, that's enough. You got the result. So how do you make that? To concentrate. That is the meaning of telling inwardness. Go inward like that. Otherwise what happens, even if you sit, some reason you will find to get disturbed. Once the mind gets disturbed, your spirituality all gone. That day of spirituality is gone. That day you are going without any spiritual practice. So you should guard yourself. Each one of you, what I mean to say. So, understanding and adjustment, mutual love, mutual respect. How important it is. How important it is. Don't interfere in one's own, in anybody's affair. If you have to interfere in your own way, in your own activity. That interference should be with reference to your own self. not with respect to anybody else. That attitude is very important. See, it's a hard struggle. Otherwise, you will not get the benefit. You will be living and you will be enjoying everything, whatever that is there. That's a different matter. But the important stuff will go. What you aspired for, that you will not get. So you have to be always conscious of your goal. Why have I come here? What is my purpose? How I should improve my life? How I should cherish love and devotion? Like that you must keep on thinking, keep on improvising, improving your ways and means. Everything will be all right. But if you start the day by thinking wrong of a person or by abusing a person, how do you proceed the day afterwards? It's gone. Once the mind is tainted, that dirt will be there. It's very difficult to wash the mind. You can wash anything in this universe. Washing the mind is extremely difficult. That's why you must be extremely careful. That's the way to fight the mind. Otherwise you can't fight. But another thing is that you should not imagine also that somebody is telling against you. If somebody is telling, oh, she is talking against me, that's also imaginary. It's a sin to think that way. Suppose a person has not told anything against you. Still you feel that. Is it not bad for you? How do you conclude that she is talking about you? How do you simply jump to conclusion that way? That's the point. You can form that idea only when you come across such situation. Then only you can. It should be properly. You must have proper evidence to see that such and such a person has told against you, etc. So you should not get disturbed that way at all. That's one point. And second point is, what's the meaning of devotion to Guru? Telling I'm devoted to Guru is not the sign of devotion. You must follow implicitly. If the Guru says don't do it, even though it is not to your taste, you should not do it. No questioning there. The moment you question, your devotion to Guru is damaged. The moment the devotion is gone, the reverence is gone, the basis of spirituality is gone. So, particularly in spiritual life, your attitude towards Guru must be kept up very thoroughly. Very thoroughly. You should not even dream, you should not even think, you should not even doubt. When the Guru says, it's final, finished. Let the responsibility be taken by the Guru. You don't have to worry about that. So that way you have to improve. That's the way of improving the spiritual life. Otherwise, each one will go in his own way, and as I said, each person will hide up one's own bad tendencies. In order to cover up one's tendencies, he puts blame on others. How long you can go like that? Let anybody be in any manner. It is not my concern. My concern is how I will improve spiritually, how I should guard myself, how I should conduct myself. Concentrate upon yourself totally. That's the meaning of diving deep. Concentrate upon yourself totally. Look upon your own mind fully. Criticize your own mind if you want to criticize. That's the way to improve. That's the way. That applies to everyone. I'm not telling only to with reference to a particular person. In fact, what the topic I told, it is in the chapter 27, which I read last week. From that only I took that for my observations today. Go inward. When you are near God, then only you will enjoy the glory of God. How to go near the God? If you are always confronted with jealousy and hatred. That's why Lord Krishna says in the first line itself, na krodho na cha matsaryam. However difficult it might be, you have to get yourself free from this. That's very important in spiritual life. And you will enjoy peace, you will enjoy all glory will come to you. You have to keep on waiting. Do your practice and pray to God. God will give the result himself. He knows. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though with tears my soul ascend. O thou who stealest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous reign tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour raining time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works be satisfied, for he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased, he being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.